Hello, Black Together Again family. Hi there. Tonight I want to talk about this Ukrainian racism that's happening at the border. And so I've got this video from Arise News through Fair Use, and I want to play this clip for you guys. But it's a shame. It's so disgusting how Zimbabweans and Nigerians are being treated in Ukraine. They're trying to escape the war just like the Ukrainians are, of course. But if you're Black in Ukraine, you are not allowed to get on the trains to escape the war. You're not allowed to get on the buses. It's just so inhumane the way that they're being treated. They're in the cold, having to walk for hours. But let me play this clip for you guys, okay? And we'll discuss it on the other side.
War has arrived in Ukraine and civilians are running for their lives. Traditional evacuation protocol during wartime prioritizes women, children, and the elderly.
Man, these people left without taking the blacks.
But as Russia continues its advance in Ukraine, racism is not far behind. Twitter, where many African students in Ukraine have been documenting their journey westwards, has been awash with videos and tweets of reported racism.
See the black girl go, they are pushing her, they're not letting her go, they're not letting her go. Is it right?
In this video, a black woman is seen being denied boarding onto a train believed to be evacuating civilians in Ukraine away from the advance of Russia from the east. No verbal reason is given for the denial, but moments later, a white woman is allowed to board the same train. This Twitter user, named Inze Kiev, believed to be a Nigerian international student, says priority boarding on trains along racial lines is common. His Twitter feed has documented his journey from Ukraine onwards to Poland. According to his accounts, the crowds of people who have braved cold weather, queues, and journeys full of fear to make it to Ukraine's border with Poland have been racially discriminated against in a series of events, which include a van being driven into the direction of the crowd and a gun being drawn on them.
We are students! We are students! We are dying! We are dying of cold! We are dying of cold! We are dying of cold! Everybody go down!
However, on the Poland side of the border, there's been a suggested decline in reports of racism from civilians.
These are the black community. They are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gate.
But it is important to note that complaints are predominantly from civilians still in Ukraine. Mainstream media has also shown itself to be an example of the role race and unconscious racism plays in the coverage of the Russian.
Okay, family, you see how inhumanely the Africans are being treated in Ukraine? And it's just so disgusting. They're out in the cold. You see women with babies out in the cold, and do they care? No. They're still held up with guns on them, and it's just such a disgrace. But we African Americans have been telling Africans for years now about how white people are. When you're a minority in their country, you're going to be treated unfairly. Now, when they're in Africa, they behave totally different. White people in Africa, they dare not treat you the way they treat you when they're in their home country. But, you know, we both can learn from this story. Africans can learn from Americans, African Americans, and African Americans can learn from Africans, because I fear that African Americans will one day be in this same predicament, waiting to the last minute to leave in the threat of a war. And then also thinking that you're going to be treated fairly when it comes time to leave. No, and it's sad to hear the Africans say that they waited they waited till the last minute because they knew that something like this might happen. And they knew that the Ukrainians would take precedence over them getting on the trains to exit and flee. So they waited until they thought that they were all aboard. And then so the next train, they thought that they would be able to get on, but no. Some were even dragged off trains after they had already boarded. And so it's so sad. That's why, you know, if you see a threat coming, you just leave then. Let's look out for one another. And, you know, used to our discernment would be on point. We would, you know, flee ahead of time, you know, but now it's like people are so caught up with, you know, other things and having fun and not thinking about what could take place or not knowing, you know, what's to come, not, you know, just being aware. And so we, you know, we got to keep our discernment keen. All right. But I tell you, we've been telling African Americans a while now too, you know, something is brewing and we just need to be prepared. You know, we can't afford to be infighting with one another, killing each other. The killing is just rampant in America now among African Americans. But these Africans, I hate that they found themselves in this predicament, but I tell you, every African country that we've visited, we always meet Africans that are just, they just fantasize about going to either the UK or America, thinking that, you know, the minute they get here, their lives are gonna just totally change for the better. And yeah, it will change, all right. One thing that will change as soon as your foot hit American soil is that now you are considered a minority and you're gonna be treated as such. You're gonna be treated like the minorities are treated here in America, especially if you're a Black minority. Okay, because all they see is Black skin. So, you know, African Americans, what we can learn from this story is to just be prepared. Make sure you have a passport. If you see a threat coming, just go ahead and get out. Get out then. Don't make any excuses. Just go on and get out, you know, because I fear that one day we'll find ourselves in the same predicament and we could be treated the exact same way. Okay. Isaiah 13:14 says, everyone in Babylon will run about like a hunted gazelle, like sheep without a shepherd. Each one will turn to his own people and each will flee to his own land. So that day is coming where, you know, we're going to have to leave Babylon. Jeremiah 15:5 says, we are going to ask one another, we'll be inquiring of each other, which way to Zion? Tell me how in the world do I get to Zion and get up out of here? Okay, so that will come to pass. Okay, so let's wisen up and let's prepare for that day. You know, we know the word doesn't lie, you know, but it's better to be prepared than be regretful. Okay. All right. Until we meet again, we'll be Black together again. Okay, people. All right. Love you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe and comment. Bye-bye.